EGM Network.
This is Martha Matters. From real estate, healthcare, current events, taxes, or just about any topic, we're talking about it. Call us with any questions on just about any subject. Now, here she is, Martha!
Oh, well, hi there, and welcome back. Well, this is a pretty interesting week. While it may be Trump's 100 days, I am predicting the next 100 days. And I really want to see what's going on now and what's going to happen. Now, you have to realize I'm not going over the accomplishments, which have been many, and you'll hear them probably all week long on TV. But what really is going on right now is very important for the next 100 days, and you've got to understand everything a little better. Right now, as we speak, Trump is not celebrating 100 days on the lawn of the White House or inside the White House. He is flying to Maine. I mean, not Maine, he's flying to Michigan. And the reason is he's really coming down on organizing the automobile industry. Mm-hmm. And that is number one. It hasn't been accomplished yet, but they're working very, very hard on it. Now, one thing I find interesting, you all know that any automobile we get from Europe that's shipped over from Europe, China, Japan, is going to be heavily tariffed. And it should be. But you also need to know that Toyota, Nissan, Honda, Hyundai, they are all within the United States, being built within the United States. So they won't have tariffs either. So, in fact, what you need to understand is that they may also even have reduced labor costs because the companies are not American, but the workers building the cars are American.
Right.
And they're not members of the United Auto Workers Association. So we have to be very, very careful. For example, one of the Japanese cars that's being built here and was at the car show, you had a Lexus SUV. Everybody seems to be wanting or liking SUVs, not the smaller cars, but ones that have an open trunk into the main chassis of the car, simply for unusual big thing items that you need to transport when you don't have a truck to do it. There are a lot of pluses to SUVs, but at the car show, Lexus came out with an SUV with luxury leather seats. And when I say luxury, I mean it. They're better than your lazy boys that you have at home. These are seats where the back cuts in half, and the top half can go forward or backward depending on your posture. The bottom can go in and out. The very bottom can go up and down and sideways. I mean, literally, you can roll up on one of those seats and sleep all night long, and it will be as comfy as your bed. Now, things like that Lexus is doing to compete with all the American SUVs. So it will be interesting what happens in the future. And none of them, by building here, will be paying any tariffs. So there could be a price war between General Motors, Ford, and these foreign makes that are now American in the sense that they are built by Americans.
So I think, Martha, one of the things that you first think about with that is when they started saying, you know, the foreign built cars right away, you think all of those are literally coming over on the ships and stuff from Japan or South Korea or whatever they're building them, but not so.
Correct.
So it's good to get the word out about that, because automatically you think, oh, Honda, Toyota, Hyundai, you know, all these other ones.
Nissan,
yeah, Mitsubishi, all of those. I mean, I don't know each one that's built in America. I know Toyota is, some of the Hondas and that, like you're saying, but it is not as much of a scare tactic, if you will.
It's a choice.
Right. It's a choice. It's not so much automatically all these, you know, Japanese sounding car names are going to have tariffs on them. Not true.
That's true.
Yeah.
So the competition is still going to be there. Even BMWs, they had for years a parts department in Spartanburg, South Carolina.
Okay.
And they quietly have expanded their parts department to actually put cars together there.
Yeah, so that's another big thing of the parts that you have to have for these cars that people were afraid of.
Right.
Now I already own a Honda. Now I already own a Toyota. How much is it going to be for a new alternator, a new starter, a new blah, 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 if all these tariffs are going in? Yeah, so it's good to get this kind of word out than people just automatically thinking across the board that that's going to happen to them.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the parts are now being built here. I can't say for sure all of them, but they're working on that. It will be very, very interesting. And obviously, they're thinking way ahead of even when Trump is long gone 4 years from now, or 3.5, whatever it is, and have no idea how the United States will continue to go on the same path or be turned around again or what have you. But they are really planning for the future of being a major manufacturing plant right here in the United States. And that is certainly for more than the next 3 years. They're planning decades of doing this.
Well, we were that way.
Yes.
I mean, you and I remember that. We talk about it off air when it was like that. So I get it that we don't need to, us being the United States of America, need to own everything either.
That's correct.
You know, we don't need to own everything either, but we need to have our fair share and to have it back on a level playing field.
Absolutely. That's what this is all about. And that's what Trump is flying to Michigan for today. In addition to that, the reduction has been another topic. The reduction has been greatly reduced, but there is still very few pockets. It must be about 80% less, fewer pockets of illegal fentanyl coming across, especially for use among street people. And that is significant. I think in a year alone, there were and that includes January and February of this year, and all of 2024, you had over 500 people who died. There may be more that aren't even recorded, where they died and were buried in the woods somewhere or something. But the recorded ones that were done by undertakers or funeral directors, there's a solid 500, and they weren't drug addicts. They were people who haven't had, many of them are people who haven't had a single drug, not even marijuana, and were offered a little piece of blue candy. Oh, thank you, and thought nothing of it and popped it, and that was the end of them.
Yeah.
So we're not talking about the deaths are getting rid of addicts. They're literally getting rid of people who are in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what makes it so sad and pitiful.
Yeah, well, we went through the whole epidemic with the Oxy.
Yes.
Which was for people that legitimately got, many people legitimately got it as a prescription from their doctor, and then it just spiraled out of control.
That's absolutely true.
And my own opinion with some of this fentanyl stuff, too, I see more procedures that I have personally been to where they're not using fentanyl and they're, it's more reined in, which is a good thing, too, because you don't need that much stuff and, oftentimes in those situations.
That's absolutely true. Absolutely true. So we can look forward to safer and better times than we have right now. But there's another topic, and that is really, and you can't blame just Biden, though his people did their fair share. But for the last 40, 50 years, both parties, our friend Elon Musk got rid of all this mismanagement. And I mean mismanagement. For years, there were like at least 2 or 3 friends of friends and dozens of both Republicans, both Democrats, both independents that have sneaked in getting Social Security for a 140-year-old, 150-year-old,
Mm-hmm.
who doesn't exist. And Elon Musk cleaned it up. He didn't clean up just Democrat misdoings or Republican misdoings, going way, way back. Even Reagan, some of those people got amnesty way back then, and they were already criminals. Maybe not MS-13 or Tren de Aragua, but let me tell you, there were plenty of thugs that came across the borders during all these generations. There's enough bad people to go around for all of the last 4 or 5 administrations.
Mm-hmm.
And he cleaned up a lot. And it's a shame that we had the people doing the fires on Tesla. And like I said, a lot of Americans were hurt. Even their neighbors and friends, their insurance went up because of those fires. And the person who suffered the least was Elon Musk himself.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad that has come to a stop, and they realize, both parties, but especially the far left that seemed to be organizing the burning of Teslas, at least that came to a stop. They weren't doing either party any good whatsoever. Any good. So now what we have to look forward to, I am absolutely amazed. Just within the last week, they haven't come yet, but I want to prepare you for the future. There are 450,000 new jobs that the administration got signed up for last week, and about 2/3 of them are skilled jobs. But with all the job creations, there are many unskilled or ones where they're willing to train, where the skills don't require an additional education. It can be on-the-job training. And that's That's in the next year or two that we're going to have those 450,000 special manufacturing runs. It's mainly computer chips, and in addition to that, AI research and things like that. In addition to that, we also already have created like well over 200,000 jobs just within the month of March that where the people are actually working. They've already been hired for them. That's very encouraging also. April, we don't even have the statistics for yet.
Right. Yeah.
But there is a good reason for being optimistic. The rough part, and I was part of the rough part too, anybody who has investments, no matter how small or how great, was greatly hurt by the stock market this last month, because the stock market, and it's nothing new. They've been this way for decades. They can adjust to negativity. They can adjust to positivity, but they can't adjust to uncertainty. Uncertainty drives the stock market crazy. It's reached the point there are individuals who will go out and sell everything they have in the stock market when they see it going down by more than 10% and by leaps and bounds. And as soon as there is certainty, like there's starting to be now, all of a sudden they have recovered more than 50% from the bad month of March we had and the early part of April. We have a ways to go, but they're coming up, and they're coming up relatively fast. Why? Because there's less uncertainty. So we need to take a quick break, and I'll come back with a little more about the stock market and the tariffs and what we can expect in the next 3 to 4 weeks, in the next 100 days. So stay with me. We'll be right back. I want to introduce you to our main sponsor, Highland Plaza, located on US 1 on the east side of the Highland Drive traffic light. We even have our own left-hand turn lane. One of the places in there, the first one on the north side, is Easy Stop, and you will be surprised what competitive and beautiful prices they have. You should give it a shot. Also, Tony's Hairstyling Salon is ideal for the entire family at all ages. He and his wife have run a salon there for years with a huge following. Also, we want to tell you about La Taberna Restaurant. It has the freshest Mexican food in town and a well-experienced chef. You will be most surprised not only by the food, but the reasonable prices. Also, I want to tell you about the nail salon. It's Luxury Nails. Let me tell you, they do everything, both for walk-in clients and appointments. Appointments are really appreciated, but they treat all clients professionally. Now, I want to repeat to you, this is located on US 1, just east of Highland Drive at the traffic light. It's a beautiful yellow building with a maroon awning. We look forward to seeing you there. Come on over.
At Sunshine Furniture, our 35,000 square foot showroom is filled with the largest selection of in-stock coastal furniture on the Treasure Coast. Dining and bedroom sets, occasional tables, sofas, sleeper sofas, love seats and chairs, and all the latest styles and colors from Tommy Bahama, Lexington, Hooker, Riverside, Universal Coastal Living, Four Seasons, Braxton Color, and Capri. We're also the outdoor furniture experts and have hundreds of styles of any patio furniture you need, including a gallery of Berlin Gardens and Pollywood. We specialize in fire pits, outdoor rugs, umbrellas, and replacement cushions. Right now, we're having a spring sale with lots of great markdowns and discounts on everything you need for your Florida home, including all pictures, lamps, and accessories half price. Sunshine Furniture, $12.95 US 1 in the Publix Plaza, Vero Beach. Don't forget to visit our outlet store directly across the street, filled with lots of brand name closeouts and sale items. And visit our website at sunshinefurniturecasual.com.
Before she was a legend, she was just a girl with a dream. Beautiful. The Carole King musical tells the incredible true story of a young songwriter who found her voice and changed music forever. The passion and the triumph of a woman who shaped a generation. Don't miss Beautiful, the feel-good musical, now playing at Vero's beautiful Riverside Theater. Get your best tickets now at the box office or riversidetheater.com.
Hi there, and welcome back. Okay, I've got to tell you, I was one of many people that, of course, went through a little hardship of losing in the stock market, and now it's coming back. And I do have faith that it will come back. The best news that we've heard is that Trump does have a deal, almost. It's made and sealed, and he's secretive about it for obvious reasons, but he has an excellent deal with a major trading partner, which is East India. And they do everything from drug manufacturing to chip manufacturing. So if there's any nonsense or break off in relations with China, we are very, very lucky to not only be dependent on what we make within the country, but for keeping East India as a major trading partner. Now, some of you may ask, oh, good, I'm glad there's a deal. What is the deal? Mm-hmm. Well, the very reason Trump is not explaining deals is, let me tell you, until they're just about all done and everybody's happy, he's not going to say what he dealt with one country. He may not deal with it with another country. And this is one time that he can't be transparent. Whatever his transparency was and what he decided with East India cannot be made public, because every other country, however, how big or small, including China, all the way down to a small little island nation, they are all going to want the same thing. And that's not how you negotiate. Remember, Trump came as 100% businessman and learned politics on the job. So he isn't a person with 40 years of politics. He knows how negotiations work. He knows how certain items have to be kept secret, even though he wants to be as transparent as possible. So don't expect to have details of all these different negotiations, but you will see happiness when all these negotiations are shipping over here without excessive tariffs on both sides, but an atmosphere of fairness. And we can look forward to the next 100 days of a lot of these good things happening. In this case, we don't need to know the details. Let's trust Trump, and let's sit back and see the results as we all work hard. I'm closing with one little expression that I'll probably close with every single week. None of us plan to fail. None of us plan to lose our jobs. But many of us fail to plan. Let's plan and save and look forward to the next 100 days. On that note, have a great week.